Alrighty guys, so how's she going today? So as you can maybe kind of tell, it's snowing out. Not that bad though, I'm not going to worry about it. Don't really need it, but they're not really talking much for snow. There's a couple days they were talking, the percentage was kind of high, but I don't know. But then another thing is too, is they're talking a little bit warmer weather. So I guess whatever we get for cold is going to be it for a little while. They're talking, I think, if I remember correctly, high 20s, maybe low 30s. But they change it all the time, so I don't know if that's still accurate or not. That's what I heard. That's what I heard last night. So I don't know. We'll see if it, I guess, continues to get colder or not. But I guess, can't really complain too much because it could be a lot worse. I know lots of people are getting snow. I know out east, I think I've said that before, they got a shit ton of snow. And the one area I even got rain, and then it turned to ice, and they had like over an inch, maybe half an inch to an inch of ice on power lines and stuff. It was freaking nuts. So I'm glad that shit didn't come this way, but I know it's coming this way at some point in time in life, so hopefully I'm prepared for it. I've been kind of thinking too, I know I've been looking at Honda snowblowers. I'm still trying to figure out where the Honda dealer is around here, because there's one south of here, and they said the name of the company. And I didn't think of it at first. I thought, okay, well, that's probably the name of the company, of the actual Honda dealer. But what I think, because I'm trying to Google it, I'm trying to go through the Google Map system and trying to look it up and stuff. Now, the maps, of course, are out of date, so I don't know, that was the last time Google has been through that area was back in 2012, so I don't know what's going on now. But it's either I'm right or I'm wrong, but I think the Honda dealer is the John Deere dealer that's down there. So I guess John Deere sells Honda products too, I guess. I don't know. Could be wrong, but they still call it whatever they call it, and I don't know if that's still, because I had gotten a business card from that John Deere dealer back in 2010, and they called it something else. And now I guess now they changed the name. So I don't know. But the Google Map thing is just not right. I mean, I think the John Deere dealer is way past that town, but on Google Maps they have it pointed to where it's before the town. So there's some kind of a glitch there in the system, because I think the John Deere dealer was after the town. I don't know. It's been years since I've been out that way, so I don't know, what's going on. So if that is the I've been to that John Deere dealer before, back in 2010, and then I think I went back again 2012 or 2013. I think I might have been back there. But then I just stopped going there because it wasn't convenient, and then it just wasn't convenient for me to go that way, because they were, even they're closer than the other John Deere dealers. But see, the thing is, we go to that town where that John Deere dealer's at, so we're always closer to them, when we're shopping. Compared to if we went to that place, then that's further away from town for when we're shopping. So we kind of it's just convenient for me to do my business in North Dakota at that John Deere dealer than it is to this one. But I have been there a time or two, but I haven't been there in years, so I don't know, what they're, if it's still a John Deere dealer, which I'm sure it is, because I haven't heard word of them shutting down. I can't see them shutting down because that's all farmland out there, and farmers need their parts. That's the only John Deere dealer around here, for here on the Minnesota side. So I don't really see how they could be. My mom thinks maybe they went out of business, but I can't see that happening because they're a John Deere dealer. Everyone around here runs John Deeres because that's all that there is around here. I mean, you do see some other makes and models and stuff, but yes, if you want parts for them, you're going to have to go further away compared to John Deere. John Deere's close, so that's why everybody runs John Deere, I guess. Plus, John Deere's just more reliable. But it is what it is. They're more expensive too, but at least you're getting something that's pretty reliable. So I don't know. I'm going to, I guess, and another thing too is that the phone numbers are different, because the business card I had, it has 2 different numbers on it, and then when you go on the Google Maps system, because they have their information on there too, it's once again different. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if it's still actually a true John Deere dealer or if it's just something completely different now. But apparently that's. I mean, they said what the brand or what the name of the company is, and then go back to the Google Maps system. Even though it's old, it says 2012. It has that same name written on the building. So I take it as that's. I guess that's it. I didn't think John Deere would sell Honda, but Honda is pretty reliable too. So maybe they teamed up together. I don't know. I haven't been there in years, so I don't know. So I guess if that's where I'm going to get my snowblower, my Honda snowblower, I guess I'll be stopping at a John Deere dealer. They'll have to, I suppose, order it or something. Probably, I might even just call when the time's ready, or when the time comes, and see if they have one in stock, and if not, they can order me one, and then I'll just pay for it right then and there, So, but I'm going to call first. I'm not going to I'm not going to drive down there just for the hell of it to see what they got sitting on the lot, So, it's not going to really matter. So, yeah. Another thing I'm going to try to do, it's gonna cost me a lot of money, but I'm going to, because this is about Big Red. Big Red's still acting up. I'm going to replace the battery in it. I don't think it's the battery, but if it's throwing those codes, those are probably most likely the problems. But apparently, from what the Polaris website says, is that 2 different size batteries will fit in that machine. The one that I have right now is a 20 amp an hour, however that goes. And then I guess the next size up is a 30 amp an hour. Apparently that'll fit in there too. The problem with that one is that it's $170. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and order that $170 battery. Probably, I don't know if it'll be on payday. I don't know, but the only reason why I'm doing it is, one, I just want to try it, see if this eliminates a problem or something. I don't know. I can't see it being the battery, but because the battery is only like 2-3 years old, so I don't really know how it can really be that. But I don't know. So they apparently claim it'll fit in that 4-wheeler. It's an option, I guess. That's probably what should have been in there anyway. I think something a little bit bigger, because especially for me, because I have so much stuff hooked up to my battery. It's unreal. So I think it probably wouldn't hurt to upgrade the battery anyway, so I have a little more power. Maybe it would start a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, it starts fine. The battery that's in Big Red now, that's a 310 cc. CCA, or I mean, whatever. It's a, it's. But I don't know what the newer one was. It didn't say. So, but obviously it's probably maybe a little bit more beefier. I don't know. I'm just gonna try it. I don't really have nothing to lose by it anyway, because if it don't fit Big Red, and if it don't work, or if that doesn't solve or if it doesn't solve my issues, I'm just gonna leave it in there. But the old battery that's in Big Red, I'm going, because I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I'm not going to retire that battery. Not like this one. This one down here I retired because it wasn't holding a charger anymore. The old Big Red's old batteries here in the corner, I don't know what to do with it. There's no place you can take them to that I'm aware of that recycles batteries. Well, I suppose you could take them to the junkyard, that's about it. But I'm not going to go to the junkyard for one damn battery. So yeah, if the battery, not saying it's going to solve my issues, but it don't hurt to try. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take Big Red's old battery out, and I think I'm just going to put my CB radio on that in the house. Not sure what I'm going to do to charge it. Either besides solar powered, or I just put a battery tender on it, and that just keeps it fully charged at all times. Because the only time the CB's ever going to be on is during the day anyway. So I don't really know. I don't mind it being on, the power supply. I like that because you can see the voltage and everything, what it's doing, but it's not exactly an ideal thing to have if the power goes out. At least this way, if it's on a battery, it can it'll still have power at the CB radio. Because the other thing is, I'm getting sick and tired because the power likes to cut off over here. They cut it off so many times a year, it's ridiculous. You have to reset everything. Well, if I could eliminate at least one thing from having to reset all the frickin' time, it would make life a little bit nicer. So, yeah, I think Big Red's old battery, that smaller battery would be more than enough, I think, for that CB radio. And plus, the CB radio does not pull a lot of power when it's just idling. When it's just sitting there, listening. The only time it's pulling a lot of power is when you're actually talking on it. And well, how often do I talk on it? And but I like having it, on. In case, if something should happen on the interstate, maybe you'd hear about it, even though I haven't really heard nothing, but nothing really happens here, but, it's nice to, you hear what goes on at the border. A lot of truckers talk trash about it and how stupid it is, so, I don't know. So, it's nice to hear what's going on there, and maybe I'll come across a weather report on the highways or something, I don't know, but anyways, even if it was just for personal use, of course my uncle doesn't have a radio in his house or anything like that. That'll probably change one day, but not right now. But I want, if the power's out, we don't really have a way of talking, like to my grandma or my uncle, because, there's no power there, so. And I don't know if the phones work without power. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's nice to have, a secondary or whatever, backup to wanting to talk to somebody if you need to. So, I mean, even though I wouldn't be talking to anybody right now because my grandma doesn't have a radio in her house. My uncle does have an antenna, but he doesn't have the radio, so maybe I'll buy him a cheap radio or something someday and he can put it wherever he wants, you know. So, I'm not going to buy him a $130 radio, not like what I buy. Because, you know, that Cobra 29 was, what, 130, 140, you know. So, he can just, I'll just buy him a cheap radio, maybe like a, I don't know, Cobra 18 or something like what I have on Big Red. That was like $80. But you can get him even cheaper than that, though, too. I mean, you can get him right down to $20. But I might get something with weather band in it, so just in case he needs to listen to the weather on that, he can. All my radios have to have weather band on them, even though the weather, they're not the greatest. The house does better than Big Red, but Big Red's kind of a lower, he's lower down too, so he's not going to receive all that well. The only weather bands I pick up is Canada. That's it. I can't even hardly pick up anything here on the U.S. side because I'm just too low. And they're all so far away. I just can't. Now, if I went over to GMRS radios, I probably would get them because there's more power there. But GMRS radios are very, very expensive. So, and I think CBs would work just fine for what we're using for anyway. So, but I don't know. That's the plans anyway. I'm just gonna go buy a bigger battery for Big Red. Hope that it fits in there. They claim that it will. So, even though I think it's only about 10 amps bigger than what's in Big Red now, but I guess the extra 10 amps is better than nothing, or whatever the hell it is. So, you know, fuck it, I'll take it. You know, it's like it's going to be expensive, $170 I think it was. But if it fits, I'm leaving it in there. I mean, no doubt about it. Then I'm leaving it in there. But the old one, I'm just gonna go put that on the house radio then, and I'll just go buy a either some kind of a solar powered thing to charge it, or I'm just gonna get another one of those battery tenders and keep that plugged in all the time. The battery's gonna stay fully charged no matter what anyway, because the radios don't take much for power, and if it's hooked to the tender all the time, well, it'll keep it charged. So I'm not gonna be too worried about it. But another thing I looked up, because I'm trying to give Big Red some love. He needs some love, you know. He's getting a little sad looking, and I like to try to take good care of my stuff, even though it hurts my wallet. You guys know that I am buying Big Red some new tires, so that's a start. Well, you know, you guys probably know about the seat that's been ripped, and that the rip is slowly getting bigger. Well, I looked up on Polaris' website. Apparently, you can still buy them. I guess they'll still look they're you know, the same. I don't know if there's aftermarket ones or not, but expensive. I think it was like $350 for a new seat. I was like, holy shit, that's gonna kill my wallet. So I'm going to stretch this seat through the winter months anyway, and maybe in spring I'll buy a new one. I mean, this seat's not that terrible, but I mean, it's got the big main crack is the worst. But I don't like it. I don't like a fucked up machine. You know, I would like to keep them as nice as I possibly can. You know, if you're going to own something, you could at least take care of it and, you know, show it a little bit of love. You know, so even though Big Red ain't gonna give a shit, but you know, I do. I want him to look nice, especially since I don't plan on buying one anytime soon, so another four-wheeler. But I do know, I'm hoping sometime this summer, if I can even get through the winter, I'm going to have to do it the summer of 2019. I'm going to have to either risk it with the pickup, or I'm going to have to go rent out a U-Haul pickup. Take Big Red to a Polaris dealer. Because that not wanting to start bullshit is getting very annoying. fully charged battery and it still acts up. I don't get it, you know. So I don't know. So I'm probably gonna save up some money. Probably won't cost too much, I don't think. You know, probably like $200-300 maybe. I don't know, because there's only those two small problems that they have to look at. But they're gonna charge on something for you know, labor and stuff, which is fine. But I want to have at least 500 or something, you know, saved up, or a little more. And then I gotta buy ramps so I can load it and unload it. Well, there's some cheap ones, but I don't really want the cheap ones. Don't really trust them. So again, you gotta buy an expensive pair of ramps, which is fine anyway because I'm gonna need them for when I buy the snowblower anyway. So it's not gonna really fucking matter. So they're gonna get double use anyway. So do that and take Big Red into the Polaris dealer. None of them are really that close to home, but you know, I think we can drive. We can handle those roads just fine. I don't trust this. I mean, we can't drive in the cities. So, I mean, you probably could if you just got smart enough and used your GPS too. But people drive like maniacs, and I don't really want to risk that. So, I'd rather just kind of go somewhat close to home. Because from here to the nearest Polaris, there's 2 or 3 Polaris dealers here yet, but they're a little further away. But I think that you can just mostly just take back roads, kind of like stuff, you know, just like 2-lane highways, and you know, you're not dealing with traffic on the interstate where it's, you know, everybody's passing you because they act like they're in a hurry. Even though you're doing the speed limit, everybody still passes you. Well, here anyway they do. But yeah, I don't know. Big Red's gonna have to be taken in though at some point. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know how he's gonna handle it throughout the winter. But come summertime, at some point he's gonna have to go in and get fixed. And you know, take care of that, so then it runs and I don't have to worry about it for a while. But it is getting to be almost 10 years old now, so it probably will start having problems. Probably should just go get a new one, but you know, I think once you just fix those problems, he probably would be good for a while again. For how many years, I don't know, but I think the main thing I would just like to do is just get him off of plowing snow. That's the main thing I want to do. So I think if I could do that, I wouldn't be putting so much wear and tear on him then. You know, and he can kind of just sit more, take a break. He's still going to run in the wintertime, but not as much if I didn't have to plow with him. So, because he gets a good workout in the summertime, running to the farm all the time, and doing stuff there all the time. So, yeah, he gets a pretty good workout in the summertime. But he gets kind of a break in the wintertime. Well, he sits for a couple days before I go anywhere again, unless I get called. But other than that, it just sits for a couple days. Every 2 to 3 days, I'll go to the farm about now and check up on the bull, check up on the herring, whatnot. Bull's getting pretty friendly. He won't even walk away from me now. I think I've said that in a previous video. He's acting like a big baby. He doesn't really want to. He won't run away from me now, which is a good thing. But I'm not saying that'd be a good thing for when it comes time to load him. He still may want to fight, but I figured maybe if he saw me, and you know, if I had him tamed to me, maybe he wouldn't go so damn haywire then. But I don't know. I'll worry about it when the time comes. I'm just waiting to sell him. That's what's going to help make an investment towards the snowblower, and then whatever else. So, but I don't know. That's just kind of what's going on. I'm just gonna buy that bigger battery, and if it don't fit, well, it don't fit. I mean, whatever then. But they claim it kind of will. So I'll see if it fits in there, and if it does, I'm leaving it in there. And if that still doesn't really solve my issues, then it's going to have to be sent in then and looked at. And then I'll just put the other battery on the CB radio in the house, because I'd rather have that on its own power thing, where if power goes out, then at least it'll keep running, not have to reset everything all the freaking time. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens though. But anyways, guys, I guess I'll probably take off. Just want to let you guys know what was going on and what I plan on doing here in the next little while. Still snowing a little bit. I haven't had to plow yet though. That's a good thing. I'm sure our time is coming though for it to want to snow. Not really looking forward to it, but whatever. As long as we don't get too damn much, I think I'll be alright with it. So, if we only plowed once a month, I think I'd be okay with that. I'd definitely be okay with that, because, you know, don't need to. I'm not putting all that wear and tear on then, right? So, but yeah, I don't even have all the weights or nothing on Big Red yet. I don't put them on until I'm ready to start plowing. Until I actually need to plow. There's no point in him carrying all that weight around for nothing. So, whatever. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.